Hello there. I know right now it's dark and rainy, but hopefully we'll be seeing this sometime in the morning. So, good morning. It's great to see you all on YouTube, and this is a video specifically for cellists like you and me. So this is going to be a video about how to get your cello and your bow ready for you to play. So obviously if you want to play your cello, the first thing you have to do is get it out of your case. But wait, Mr. Gabe, you might say, don't I see a cello right behind you? You would be right. That is because my case is probably a little different from yours. I'll bring it out. This is my case. You might have seen something like this before. It's called a hard case because it's very hard. And it's made of carbon fiber and it costs a lot of money. So I know that you don't have this case. What you probably have is what's called a soft case. That's what most cellists have when they first start out. I don't have a cello soft case, but I do have a soft case for my guitar. So you can see it kind of looks and feels like a backpack. It's a bit more stretchy. So when you take your cello out of your soft case, the most important thing is that you, number one, make sure that your cello is at least facing right side up when you open it, but also that when you take your cello out, you never ever let the cello fall out of the case, because if it falls out of the case, it might break. So really, that holds true no matter which way you open it. You could stand it up like this and unzipper, like that. You could lay it down on its back, make sure that it's on its back, and unzipper. You could even lay it on its side and unzipper. Just as long as you're not in the middle of unzippering and then, okay? Never let that happen to your cello. I almost let it happen to my guitar. So, once the cello is out of your case and you have it in your hands, you might have to put it down and do something else, like get your bow or get your music or, I don't know, whatever. So if you have to put your cello down, I recommend laying it on its side. Hold it like this on its side and gently place it down on the ground. There are other ways of doing it, but this, I think, is the best way to not have it fall over. So anytime you want to put it down, please leave it like this. But let's say you are ready to put it into position. In order to get your cello into the right position, you'll have to deal with something called the end pin. It's at the bottom of the cello. It's that little pointy thing, and you'll see that there is a little screw here. And you just have to unscrew it, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and just bring it out a little bit, and then tighten it back up. So there are a couple of ways that you can tell if your end pin is out long enough. The best way is, you see this peg over here? Should line up about to where your ear is, if you see that. Also, this is a great time to talk about cello posture. So the first thing is that you want your feet flat on the floor. The chair that you're sitting in, you want it to be a good chair, a sturdy chair, one that's comfortable, but not like a lazy boy or anything, but just like a normal chair that you may have at like your dining room table. That would be fine. So when you when you are in cello position, you basically want your legs to be what is balancing the cello and what's keeping the cello from toppling over like that. So that means that the cello should be touching both of your legs somewhere, usually like right inside your knees. So because I'm holding it like this with my legs, my arms are completely free to move around, and then eventually they'll be completely free to play. And the last thing is that your back should always be straight. You should not be, lazy. You shouldn't be reclining, but you also, shouldn't be really hunched over either. Just feel like it's comfortable, feel like, just straight. Now, if you do all these things and you adjust your end pin length and your cello still does not feel comfortable, that might mean that you have the wrong sized cello. And that can be something that you can ask me about later. So, one of the other big things regarding holding the cello is that depending on where you are in your house, if you're in the kitchen or the dining room, if you're anywhere with hardwood floors or tiles, there's going to be a bit of a problem because this end pin is not exactly stable. If you just kind of let go and try to balance it like this, if you're on hardwood floors or tiles, your end pin might slip out from under you and your cello will fall like that, and that would not be good. So, if you are going to be playing on those surfaces, this is called a chair strap. Please get it. You may also see something else called a rock stop. It's those kind of circular rubber things. They do also prevent the end pin from slipping, but they don't always work. I know from experience, I've used rock stops and still I've feared for my life because my end pin was slipping anyway. But this is great because, and I can't really move the camera that much to really show you this, but if you see this opening on this side of the rock stop, on this side of the chair strap, I'm sorry, one of the front legs of your chair fits in here. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to try and show you. Hopefully you can see that, the way that it looks. And so I'm on carpet right now, so I don't really need it, but just to be sure, chair strap is always a good idea. So, once you have your posture all set and your cello is in a good position, now it's time for the bow. Now, since I was playing a little while ago, my bow is right here, but probably your bow should also go in your case whenever your cello does. There's usually some sort of thin pouch for it. You should put the bow in tip first, and then make sure that whatever Velcro thing you use to close it, it's closed so that it doesn't fall out into the rest of the case while you're traveling with it. Now, whenever you are not using your bow should be loosened. Now what does loosen mean? Or what does it look like? Looks like that. If you can see, the bow hair and the wooden part of the bow are just about to touch. Really just, this gives the bow some space to breathe because it's not super tight whenever you're not playing. When you are ready to play, you'll find this screw at the top of the frog, and you can tighten it like so. And then when your bow is ready, your bow's tightened, it should look like this. So you can see there is some space between the bow hair and the wooden part of the bow, but if I hold it more like this, you can see that the wooden part of the bow still has a curve to it. If this wooden part ever gets completely straight, it's too tight, and sooner or later the bow is gonna snap in half. That won't be very pretty. So, with your good posture, your good end pin length, and your legs anchoring the cello, and your bow that's tightened to the best length, there's one more step. Rosin. Now I have a bit of a fancy case of rosin. Probably, you know, the rosin that came with your instrument is fine. If it breaks or you feel like you want a better one, this is called dark rosin. It's circular and it's obviously darker in color. You can just go to your local violin shop and just say, I want dark rosin, and they'll give you something like this. When you rosin your bow, someone almost told me it was like washing dishes with soap. You want to be very, very thorough. Make sure that every part of the bow hair gets its fair share of rosin. And then when you're done with the rosin, put it away gently. Do not drop it, do not throw it, do not use it as like a baseball. It will break and it will get everywhere. And it's sticky too, so that'll make cleaning it up even worse. So, once you've done all of those things, and obviously you'll eventually get to the point where you can go through all these steps very quickly. Once you do all these things, you're ready to play. Okay, so when you want to pack up everything, when you're done playing, it's pretty much the same thing that we just did, but in reverse. So, loosen your bow back to where it was when you first picked it up. And then put it gently back in your case. For now, I'm just gonna lay it on the floor. With your cello, put your end pin back in. Also, anytime that you lay your cello on the floor, make sure that your end pin is in. Otherwise, somebody will trip on the end pin. It's happened to me before. And once you put the end pin in, until you're ready to put it back in the case, lay it on its side. And make sure that you don't forget your chair strap. And then, once you're ready to put the cello back in your soft case, I'm going to pick the guitar back up to demonstrate. Once again, make sure that you are holding the instrument the entire time that you are zippering it back up, because otherwise it will fall. One last thing, with soft cases, obviously make sure that the thinner end is where the fingerboard and the scrolls go, and obviously the part that, you know, kind of gets thicker is where the body goes. And the side of the soft case that has a little more room, usually that will be where the side with the strings and the bridge goes. The one with less, the side with less room is where the back goes. Okay, I hope this has helped, and if you have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out to me or the other PSP interns. I wish you good luck, and happy practicing.